Right, hello. This is my first video for about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. Thank you to everybody for being patient. So thank you to everybody that's been supportive through Twitter and also through YouTube as well. So I brought a new old radio, so we'll get that on the air. Very excited about that. I'm also going to be trying the mill whip and the coil again from M1 ECC antennas. I'm going to try it with a bit more power and get more voice contacts on the antenna. And I've also brought some cooking gear, so I'll also do a bit of cooking. So new shelter system, some cooking, new old radio, and lovely Peak District weather. What more could you want? I will see you in a minute. Right, okay. So for those of you who've been watching the channel for quite a while, you know that I am a super organised camper, that I can put a shelter up perfectly, no problem whatsoever. But today I'm breaking from the usual tradition, in that when I got here about half an hour ago, I discovered that I forgot to bring most of the shelter, namely a pyramid tarp to sleep under and a tarp that I'm going to use on the side of the awning. So I've just bombed it down to the nearest town and gone to the equivalent of a thrift shop, you know, a cheap shop, and I've bought, where is it? I've bought somewhere, and I've bought this, which is a heavy duty patio set cover. It's to go over tables and chairs in your back garden, so it's a rectangle box type shape, and the dimensions will fit. What I'll need to do is fashion it into the awning will come out here. I'm going to try and fashion a side shelter. The wind's blowing this way, so fashion it down here, and I've got the awning across here, and then hopefully I've got a piece for the awning to give a windbreak at the front. So yes, I've got a toolkit, a toolbox, so I've got all that I need. I've got some duct tape as well, you never know. Yeah, let's make it happen. Right, this is what it looks like. Basically it's to go over furniture, so I'm wondering if I can, without cutting it up, if I can actually just fasten it up across the top and just try and keep the shape of it rather than slicing it straight away. If I put it on there and try and fasten it down so the wind doesn't blow it away, and then if it's really ugly, then I can start slicing it to make it sort of fit a bit better. But we'll try it without destroying it, and then see where we go from there. So the choice was to either drive all the way back home, pick up the proper tarp and the pyramid tarp, and then drive all the way back, and that's about 2 hours, or try and fashion something out of a patio cover from a cheap shop. So I'll just show you how I've rigged it up for the moment. I'm just having a cup of tea, just gathering my thoughts a little bit, because it is mightily frustrating. And then I'm going to see if I'm going to try and tidy it up a little bit, because it does act like a sail when the wind catches it, because it is a rectangle shape to go over tables and chairs, so when the wind gets into that, it sort of billows out. So I've just using some rocks, I'll show that in a minute. So I've got a little rock here, put a knot onto that. That just runs down into this little rigged unit here. I can tighten that up here, and I can also tighten up on this one as well. I think I have to do that one manually. And in here, this is only temporary for the moment. I'm having a cup of tea, having a few moments, and then I'm going to shuffle it about a little bit. It'll be my little project to do. I had to make sure that I can get me, this is an inflatable bed. I wanted to make sure that'll fit in between this handy little rock here, which will be my table and like cooking area. So the wind is coming this way, so it is now giving me protection from the wind, but I'm not certain that a big gust while I'm trying to get some sleep in later is not going to come tear this thing down at the top, and then I'll end up either just pulling it over me and just sleeping anyway, or climbing inside the vehicle and just getting a kip in on the back seat. Right. It seems to be holding up. Every now and again we get a bit of a breeze and it just flaps a little bit, but it seems to be holding up. The grommets on this patio set is awful, and the stitching is awful, so if it does rain it's going to seep through the stitches and these grommets may end up bursting. What I might have to do is, rather than relying on the grommets, is to put another stone in and tie a knot to a piece of string and use that instead of the grommets. But cup of tea first. I just need to sort out all my other bits of equipment. I've spent about an hour and a half going back down to the nearest town, putting this up, so I've lost some time already. I would have liked to have got the radio on the go and caught some of the early evening traffic, but yeah. I'm here. I've got a shelter of sorts. The awning fits, the extension to the awning fits, so something's working quite nicely. Right, cup of tea. See you in a bit. Right, okay, so in here is the new old radio. When I was a M6 Lima Zulu Tango Foundation license, amateur radio license holder, one of my first HF radios, I had the 817 FT817, which I loved. I also had this one of these radios, and I regretted selling it. So I bought one out of impulse more than anything. I've got me a IC 706 Mark 1. I bought this about 2 weeks ago. Used radio. When I bought it, usually these go for about 450 to 550 second hand used. I got this for 275, so it was a gamble when I bought it. I've checked the frequencies, it transmits and receives on frequency. I did have to take the radio apart though, because when it arrived it was grubby. You know, just people, it must have belonged to one person for a long time, and it just accumulated lots of grub. So I cleaned the outside of it, cleaned the microphone, and took it apart and had to hoover out the inside of the radio because it was layered. it was about 1/4 of an inch, about just over 1/2 centimetre of dust and dirt. So I've hoovered all that out. Me and my daughter, we cleaned every little nook and cranny, got rid of all the bits of grime off it, and it works perfectly. So I'm really pleased. Got it for a decent price, bit of cleaning up, and I've got me a 706. Nice little radio. It's compact, it gives me 100 watts, which is the important bit, compared to the 705. Maximum I'm going to get 10 out of that unless I bring an amplifier, and it just ends up accumulating more and more gear to carry. If I want to go more than 10 watts, I do want to go more than 10 on the compromised antenna. If I was using a full-sized antenna, 10 watts, yeah, I reckon I can get some voice contact on that, but on a coil, on a reduced compromised antenna, I really need 50 watts or more on voice, I think, to at least to get a decent shout in. For digital, the IC 705 would work. Well, it does work a treat. I've tried it here and it does work well on digital. Anyway, I'm going to stop rattling. I'm going to set this up because I need to start to do some cooking as well. Let that just cook away while I'm playing radio. You've seen this before on the previous video. This is a marine box with a this has got an 80 amp hour battery in. The one of there's 110 amp hour. I've put them both into these marine battery boxes because in the boot there was, when I was chucking in wet gear, it was starting to accumulate on top of the battery, so I've protected them now in these, and it allows me to pull the battery out, and I can run this on I can run USB off this. I can run a cigarette lighter for some lights later on, and for charging things. So it's going to provide the power to here. I've got a cooler box there, and that's using the portable power pack here. That's some garam masala. So that's a portable power pack that's running this cooler. Right, okay, so the tea tonight is hopefully another slow cooked meal inside the cast iron pot. Got chicken in there, so I'm going to do a chicken with sweet potato and garlic. They're the sort of main ingredients. I'm going to chuck in a couple of chilies, but that's by the by. But the main flavours are going to come from the cumin seeds and coriander. Just warm them up first of all, chuck some onion in, break the onion down a little bit, and I'm going to be using garam masala. What I should be using is ras al ternu, which is a blend of spices. It's like Moroccan spices, but I haven't got that. But the garam masala has a nice blend of aromatic spices in there. Not much heat. It's not going to be a hot meal, but the main flavours are going to come from these spices with chicken and sweet potato and a little bit of harissa paste. I've got the important bit here is a lovely Australian Shiraz. Red wine for me is mostly Australian and mostly Shiraz. Right, food's in there. I'll let that slow cook in there, probably for about an hour, and that should taste lovely. Sun's just going down. There we go, there's the sun behind there. And this is protecting quite nicely actually. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing and it's just offering a nice bit of protection. it's slowly feeling like I'm getting a camp together. The rock table, I can see why Homo sapiens developed. One of the first things they designed was a kitchen table, because trying to cut food on a rock isn't very eloquent. It is rather rustic. I don't mind rustic food, but this is prehistoric rustic, using the rock. But it's in there now, it's cooking. It smells lovely. I can start to tidy up a little bit and feel a bit more organised. It's been a bit hectic arriving without the tarp and all of that malarkey, but that's all set up now. Radio set up, food's cooking, glass of wine is poured. I've nearly knocked it over once already, so I better drink it, or else it's going to go over. I think it's time to chill for a little bit.
Bravo Yankee for the fleet, Pacific now. Do we have any information wishing to check in?
USB. My name is Unit Yankee Oscar Uniform November India Sierra, QTH Kuwait City. Thank you for replying, and back to you, Charlie Tango 7 Alpha India Uniform.
Roger, Unit. Yeah, I see in my log we had many QSOs.
Right, so this is ready. Let me just take this off. It's got a lovely aromatic, you can smell the blend of the spices. It smells absolutely lovely. When I was buying the patio cover, I also got some car atmosphere lights, which I've put here on the rocks. So according to the instructions, let's turn this off a second. There's a light on there. Let me turn this one off. Okay. I should be able to cycle through some different settings. Okay, I should be able to cycle through some different settings on here. Let's have a look. Oh, the camera can't see anything. Hang on. Sorry about this, folks. Right, here we go. Let's have a party. Oh, hang on. No. Ah, oh, nice. What's this one do? Oh, hang on. Oh. Right. What about this one? Oh, no, hang on. Oh. Hang on. Right. Oh, hang on. I don't know what colours to go for. Where was I? Green's okay, but how about a nice amber colour? That's quite nice, isn't it? But let me I can turn this one down. It's so bright. I can put it into amber mode as well, so we're all oh, that's not so bad. Bit of radio on, and then
I'm going to be able to walk up it on the inside of the
nice.
tower. I hear you. Yeah, we haven't cooled off quite that much yet here in Ohio. We're still like today, 85, I think. 85. We hit 85. I don't know what that is.
Right, morning. Just using the iPhone for this one. The batteries run out on the cameras. It wasn't a bad sleep really. Ended up sleeping in between this rock and the back wheel. Put some mats down, sleeping bag, and it was a really calm night. All the wind died down. It's lovely. I'm just gonna make a brew, start to square things away, and then head home. I might put the radio on now, but we've got some new new campers arrived around there, and I don't think they're up yet, so I'm not going to start shouting down the microphone. Let's get a cup of tea on, square things away, and then but yeah, have a cup of tea. I'm going to square things away and head home. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to the next video. Bye for now.